But some women did outstandingly well. And Professor Manning thinks that's partly down to testosterone. If Professor Manning is right, Grace should do rather well at our very own visuospatial task.
Hi everybody.
Hi.
My name's Tony.
Good morning.
I'm here today to teach you on the CAT 432 backhoe loader.
Operating a digger requires a lot of hand-eye coordination and visuospatial skills.
Okay, as if you're holding a fine lady.
And according to our survey, most women aren't that great at visuospatial skills.
Put the bucket flat.
Right, buckets. Which one's the bucket?
Yeah, don't dig it in there.
Right, but that's...
Yeah.
Just got to be gentle. So we'll win because we're gentle. These lot are like...
That's brilliant.
All our volunteers have to do is copy Tony.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
And try not to break too many eggs. According to Professor Manning, Grace is the only woman who'll be any good at this.
Good luck.
Oh, shit. Oh, no!
As expected, the women were comprehensively outclassed by the men.
I've broken my bucket!
But there was one exception. Grace was joint winner with Lloyd, scoring 3 times higher than the rest of the women.
I think most of the girls, the other 4 girls, are living up to the social expectations of being woman-like, whereas Grace hasn't fallen into that trap.
I'm a flight test engineer on the Eurofighter Typhoon. I assess the aircraft systems whilst it's being flown by one of our test pilots. I wouldn't really say I was a girly girl at all. I've always found boys' toys far more interesting than girls.
You might think that Grace has simply acquired 3D skills by becoming an engineer. But her fingers tell a different story. Even before she was born, testosterone gave Grace a more male brain with better visuospatial skills. Testosterone is an incredibly powerful hormone that affects us all, men and women.
A triangle person.
A triangle person.
It shapes our bodies
Oh my God.
and affects our minds. And it even seems to be at the heart of why, on average, women are better at language and emotional skills, while men are better at visuospatial skills. But of course, it's not quite that simple. Averages conceal individual differences.
We've got 9 months in the womb to consider, and testosterone is not produced in the same amounts throughout those 9 months. So that it's possible to have a kind of mosaic brain.
Different levels of testosterone at different times in development might explain apparently contradictory brain skills in the same person. So although Paddy's verbal skills put him firmly in the male camp, he was as sensitive as most women when it came to some tests of empathy.
Previously, I perceived it as a weakness, but as the days have gone by and going through all the tests, I'm quite happy that I've got another side to me. But I was also happy that most of the times I was standing on the 100% male brain size.
Time for one last test.
This task is going to be about changing nappies.
And one of you lucky ladies is going to have to be with this crying baby.
On the face of it, simply a question of who's best at childcare. But in fact, it has a deeper purpose.
You're a good boy for Auntie Lulu, aren't you? Because you didn't do any naughtiness for Lulu.
As we might expect, most of the women do the task well.
Such a little girl.
There you go, right, mate? How you doing?
While most of the men struggle.
Let's see how this thing works. Okay. I think I've got it wrong already. Try again.
Okay, mate.
This will be interesting.
And you might expect testosterone-fueled, ultra-male-brained Lloyd to struggle more than most.
I don't think I did a particularly good job of connecting with the child. There was a task to do, and I just had to get on with it and do it. You know, I could be changing the tyre on a car. It's a little bit to one side, even my own son, I found it quite alien to connect with him. I only made a connection with my son as he grew older, and the connection got stronger and stronger. It wasn't instinctive, immediate bond. It was something that grew very, very gradually with my son. Right, that's a bit near. Can you see? Not just hit there, look back a bit. That's it. I don't connect too easily with people. That's actually making me quite emotional. I just want to cry. I feel like there's something missing.
Many men find making emotional connections difficult. Once the women had changed the nappy, they picked the baby up. In stark contrast, most of the men simply stepped away.
Right. What are we doing now?
Do you want me to return her, or everything's fine?
Nappy changed, baby spoken to, task done.
You're going to be a footballer. Oh, God, look at him.
Yet despite Lloyd's fear that he doesn't readily connect, when it came to the end of the baby test, he surprised everyone.
Oh. There's a real connection there.
Yeah, he's enjoying that bit.
Looks natural to him. It feels natural.
I could kiss you, oh, I see. Oh, we're talking now, aren't we? Eh?
Lloyd is aware that he's not naturally empathic, so he's made more of an effort, working his brain harder. The result is that his behaviour is indistinguishable from the women.
Oh, no. I feel really quite emotional watching that. That's lovely.
Yeah, oh,
that is really,
nice.
really lovely.
Yeah. It's almost like he does all these empathic things, but in his mind, these things don't add up to empathy for some reason. I'm not quite sure how he would describe these things.
The sex of our brain is not as clear-cut as the sex of our body.
I'm much more feminine than I realised.
While women tend to have female brain sex, and men usually have male brain sex, as individuals we are a mosaic, a unique mixture of both.
As a childminder and looking after kids, I'd have hoped my empathy score would be a bit better.
I have got a hard exterior, but it's nice I've got a soft interior.
I can learn a lot from Paddy, and Paddy has learnt me a lot already.
They're saying that guys have these skills and girls have these, but I think you'd be more successful if you were a guy who had all these female skills, because then you'd have something different to offer.
I perhaps assumed that I had more of a male brain than a female brain, but I think that I have got quite a lot of my female aspects as well, and then to hopefully become a better person for it.
And knowing about our brain sex and where our strengths and weaknesses lie has to mean a better understanding of ourselves and each other.
I think it's a two-way street, and actually that we both actually have to take a little bit more time and effort to understand where the other person is coming from.